Hey, welcome back, Beasties. It's your girl, Dezi.
And it's Kelly, and welcome to
Beast Friends. We need to start a music group.
Do we? I think I can only hum. I can
too.
give you a solid hum.
You should hear me in the shower. Amen.
Amen.
So today, listen.
First of all, you look rich.
Oh, baby. Thank you. You're looking blessed yourself.
So cute.
I got to get into this, though. Seriously.
You got to get into what?
This topic today.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
It's like a growth factor for me.
Look at me. I'm on here being nosy.
Get nosy, friend. So
okay,
listen, we were talking earlier today, and we were talking about our growth in co-parenting.
You really want to get into it today.
We about to put all that BD business on the table.
Oh, Lord. I'm about to get in trouble.
So it came up a couple times with me and some clients, and they were like, Des, I just don't understand how you do it. Like, you and your BD seem so, like, happy.
I get that a lot these days, too. But before we even get into this topic, though,
yeah,
it's interesting because it's like, I don't know, maybe those listening or watching are thinking, what does that have to do with Beast Friends and being in Beast mode?
All
and
of
like,
this matters.
All of that. Like, I feel like it's important to talk about why, I don't know, we feel equipped to have this conversation.
Well, before equipped, the first thing about Beast Friends is about knowing how to partner with someone. And I mean, anytime you're going to co-parent, you got to have a true partnership on the line.
So that's what I'm saying. Break it down, sis.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
well, let me break it down.
sis.
All of
It's
us
like,
don't have the luxury of being married to the father of our children.
facts.
Right? And some of us are in situations
And don't call him my baby daddy unless I know you like that.
Yeah, it's BD. It's the nicest way to say it without getting smacked down.
The father of my child.
Yeah, I say BD. So if you hear me say BD, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah. I don't mind BD as much.
Yeah. So anyways, just all of us don't have that luxury. And so in situations like what I have in my life, I have 2 children and I actually have multiple BDs. I have 2 baby daddies. Yeah, I do. And
I have one who might as well be like,
split.
I love you.
You better hope you don't hear this.
I swear to
God. So a part of the relationship between myself and the father of my children, the fathers of my children, is that I had to learn how to partner with them, because you can't just exist as a mother and he just exists as the father, because then we won't be following the same guidelines. We won't be creating the same boundaries. We won't have the same mindset when it comes to parenting and rearing and raising our children. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to get all of everything else out the way to collab. You got to be on that, like, total collaboration.
So great. So I would wholeheartedly agree. I just wanted to make sure that, we were level setting for everyone, because
that's true.
I just wanted to
get
bring
your comprehension up, beasties.
I wanted to bring it home. And it's a huge part of, I think, what allows us to be successful in other endeavors, though, right? Too,
absolutely.
Because if your home life isn't together, if you're feeling unsettled or uneasy in that regard, it could also eat away at your productivity. And I feel like, at least I know that I've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, I have too.
It stunted my growth.
It diminished my actual equilibrium.
Yeah, okay.
Because when that ain't right, when those children ain't safe and you don't have no stable situation and y'all ain't at a good understanding, your attitude ain't right.
And I think even when, the kids are taken care of, because I feel like in my case and in yours too, like, we have BDs that are great to their kids.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Super blessed in that regard.
It wasn't always like that.
But there's still something off about it. And, kids pick up on energy.
Good point.
And, ultimately, if the energy is off between the two of you, it really, it doesn't even matter. You can treat the kid like gold, like we always do, but they're going to observe that something is off between the two of you.
Well, I have a confession.
Confess.
Okay, this is one of those moments. Don't judge me, y'all discern me. My first BD.
Okay.
Deep breath.
Well, listen.
That was a process. And let me say, the reason why I brought it up is because you were saying, like, you treat your children like gold, and it's about you and his energy. But sometimes, because he was so absent, and I felt like
that's fair. That's a scenario. I mean, that's a serious situation.
Yeah, I felt like I had to, like, compensate to a certain extent. It was like I grew this resentment toward him, and when she would look like him, I'm just keeping it all the way. Like on 1,000 right now. So anybody that's out there judging me, you not my friend. So only discern.
Not beastie.
I would look at her sometimes, and when she would like resemble him, it would be this feeling in my stomach like, oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, because it just made me feel different. And then sometimes the way she would do things or just her actions, it would remind me so much of him. And because I still had so much unforgiveness and resentment
but you had to go in, into a place and deal with that.
I did, because I felt like I wasn't loving on my child appropriately, honestly. I just felt, I loved her and I took care of her, but it wasn't like that intimacy. I just didn't feel that extra affection.
But that's huge, though. Even to be vulnerable enough to like recognize that in yourself and then correct it. I think for me, the only thing that used to happen to me is that I would feel like when I wasn't in the best place with him, I would get annoyed that she was so into him.
Yeah.
So I would have to check myself. Like, I can't, the way I discuss him or react to, something that she says about him can't be off just because like I ain't really fucking with him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it can't, but nonetheless, I think working through it to come to the other side, which thankfully I feel like, I get a gold star in co-parenting right now. Gold star me in co-parenting right now. But before, I wasn't really, it wasn't always the best of times.
Yeah, I actually, that's why I feel like, to your point earlier, I graduated and I actually have a degree to teach this. Co-parenting successfully is so important on many levels, not just on the level of the presence of the father or the mother or the financial stability of both, but being able to release your past. Like, you got to have peace with the past, because a lot of times you're in the situation you're in with your BD because it didn't work out.
Amen.
And so you got to get rid of the it and what didn't work out and start working
and
on what can.
On this new chapter. So that is what I wanted to say, just as we like always focus on when you go into beast mode, you in solutions mode, right? Like, we're about identifying an issue and then beating that thing up. So
you gotta beat it
down into the ground. For real. So as a result, I think it's important to also share certain things that we had to do, like, to get to the place where we are right now.
You want to go first?
I'll go first. I'll speak about it personally, and then I'll also speak on things that I've observed just with other situations. But for me personally, I think when we actually, were definitive about the fact that we weren't trying to deal with each other.
Yeah.
Like, when we remove the gray area from our relationship, then you can actually focus on just being co-parents. So now, like, so many people,
you just gave them a cheat. That's a full cheat.
That
right
is
there.
A cheat.
That's a full cheat, y'all.
Write that one down. Cheat. That's a cheat, bees friends.
Yeah.
And that's a huge cheat because it sounds so simple, but at the end of the day, if there's a push-pull, just to be honest, y'all still sleeping together, if y'all are still, you know what I'm saying, like,
BDs, y'all do not own this.
Amen.
You got in and did what you did. Okay, that's it. God. Like, you got to get back out. This don't belong to you.
That's a whole separate episode.
That don't work like that.
What did Cardi say?
I don't know, but I'm
put
sure
a ribbon on it, Jesus.
Oh,
but anyway, we'll edit that.
Focus. Fully. Thank you.
So basically, though, when you if you're doing all those things, if there's like gray area in your situation, then more than likely you're too busy focused on what you are or what you aren't to one another, that you're not really focused on how to be effective parents.
That's good, friend.
Together.
So that's the truth. I'm proud of you.
That is, so don't go tiptoeing. Can't tiptoe.
If you tiptoe, you got to know your rules of engagement.
Facts. You have to be able to handle the tiptoe.
Don't get this twisted. I tips no toes.
Oh, you have
what's done is done.
Disclaimers.
Like, no, that check's been written, cashed, and it's over.
Yeah, but when you kill the tiptoeing and the back and forth, that's really helpful. I think the other thing too, though, is a lot of what you just said is like, you can't be mad at the past.
Well, for you, that's what happened. That's how your transition. Yeah. So for me, my first BD and I, it was already established once I got pregnant. Like, the way he talked to me, I was like, oh, no worries. Not ever again. Yeah. So it was like we didn't have any issue of how we were gonna be. It was just the idea of how I was gonna make room for him and her to be. Mm-hmm. And why I use the terms make room is because him and I were not an item, and it was like a divide with us. I had to also remember that had nothing to do with her. Yeah. You know what I mean? To your point, kind of, but more so like, And I had to make room for him because he wasn't in a position to make it for himself. Like, he didn't have a good understanding of how to father. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, no shade, but like just a little umbrella, because he just didn't really have like an idea. And when I had to like go back and think about the things he had shared with me about his childhood, it made sense because he lost his father so young. And the way he was raised, it just was a little different. So
that's another huge point. I mean, listen, we're talking to a lot of co-parents right now, but even if you're in a relationship, please pay attention to people's background, childhoods, etc.
First of all,
don't judge them for it, but just know that it's going to show up in a lot of different ways in your relationship.
Don't put just any seed in your soil, really, because I mean, you need to consider all things. I mean, just like you would if you were getting married, which you should already be married if possible.
Correct. You know, the real goal is to not be in this situation.
Yeah. But now that we're here, I mean, but no, so I had to consider all those things. And so for me, it was some time that passed where I had to make room for him. Like, I set up an email address for my daughter. I set up ways for communication to be established, even though he wasn't physically present. And I had to allow time to pass. And what I mean by that was like years, and not expect anything, you know, from him or make him wrong for not doing something in that particular time frame. So anyways, fast forwarding during that season, because it was quite a season, it was like 4 seasons flipped over. I was like, wait a minute, like, what's gonna happen? Because she's getting to the age now where she's realizing like, where's my dad? You know, like, where's my dad? Like, I know that this person that, you know, because I've been blessed to have a very supportive second BD who loves my first daughter as well and treats her no different as far as parenting is concerned. So she's like, I have this great guy, but we don't look alike. Yeah, like where's my dad? He ain't the DNA. And so when she started realizing that, it became this uncomfortable conversation I had to have with her. Like, listen, no, he's not biologically your dad. Thank God, you know, that he stepped up and you have someone to support you. But in the meantime, I will promote and help you get to a place where you and your father can be in a good place, because it was important to her. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, girl, Khadijah don't need you, but fine. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah.
So it was just this whole
and we can't
process.
We can't take that away from them.
No, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So anyways, she gets to this place where she's very, you know, like, it's obvious that she wants to get in touch with her dad and have this relationship. And then I have to come to a place where I have to be free to like speak good about him and be positive about it, when really I was hurt. I was utterly disappointed with how he handled the situation when I was pregnant. Very disappointed with how he handled the opportunities to be in touch with her. When I left that open, I felt like I gave him room and he didn't take advantage of it. And then I was like mad at God a little bit, because I was like, nah, I'm being this extra nice baby mama. I ain't asking nobody for no checks, no change, no strange relationship. Just come see about yours. And God had to show me that one of the reasons why he was still not around was because my energy field wasn't right. Yeah. And so then it went into me searching my past. And I even spoke about this on that women's conference about how you have to have peace with your past. You got to make peace with your past as a single parent.
You definitely do. Especially, too, because, I mean, you know, I interact with mine on like a weekly basis.
Yeah, you guys are great.
The cloud hanging, girl, bye. The cloud hanging over, you know, the relationship is just that much more like a parent's. So sunny days now, but
I'm proud of you.
I was just about to say, I talked to you a lot about this and you gave me good advice, because at a point I'm like, hey, yo, like, he don't really know me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, and he's sleeping one eye open. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was really, I was kind of trying to pop off a little bit. And we had to talk about it. And it was ultimately, though, like, you know, just kill him with kindness.
Yeah. Because you laid a foundation.
Kill it with kindness. Because I'm just like, you know what? People are more likely to let their walls down when you show up vulnerable.
That's very
And,
true.
you know, not really caring what the reaction or the outcome is going to be. You're just going to do it off the strength of like what genuinely you should be doing to try to get to the other side?
Listen, this is a beastie moment because I walk through this with you emotionally and just in it, and I'm so proud of you, friend.
Oh my gosh,
because it was a
friend.
big transition, and you went in so strong. You did not give up, and I mean, you had opportunities where you could have been like, you know what, guns out, and you didn't. So I just want to take this moment to like beast mode you up because you deserve it. Your energy's on 10,000 right now.
Thanks,
proud of you,
friend. You helped me get here. I appreciate it. And I would say that I was thankful that you were willing to share your experiences, even if they didn't look pretty or sound great, to help me to help me get to the other side. So that's another cheat for you guys. If when you talk about really divine friendship and taking friendship to another level, or partnership in any capacity to another level, like you have to be willing to share your shortcomings in an effort to help your friend or your partner,
it's that vulnerability,
get to the other side. So I would say that even having a friend that I felt comfortable confiding in and who was telling me and giving me the real on how to potentially make my situation better is another huge component of even getting where you need to be from a co-parenting perspective. I mean, now I would say that it's interesting, it's funny sometimes because we're on the same page, but sometimes he puts me in my place and reminds me, and then vice versa with him. And I also feel like too, I don't take as much personally. Because I'm just
big goals, baby. Big goals.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not as I guess you could say married to what he thinks of me.
I just had a full deja vu. I know this is like so
I'm looking
tangent.
at your face like what? Go on a tangent.
I'm all the way in the spirit. Like I had such a deja vu. So let me just make it known that we were meant to do this. Somebody's whole life is just being touched.
Amen.
Hey, cool. Ha! That's for those that know what that means.
So it's interesting though because I feel like this is something that we could go on and on about. But
we are probably
gonna have to probably do it part 2. But I always like to bring it home, and I like to make sure that everybody is getting these cheats and these key takeaways.
You got to take your cheats down, and you know what? It's so good that our love just gave us an extra 5 minutes.
I was gonna say, okay, Mariah. Well, thank you for the extra 5 minutes with your eye roll. You're cute.
But seriously, so listen, perfect, because I needed an extra 5 because I got an extra baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. This is a discernment moment. Anybody judging, y'all already know where y'all can go. Okay. So listen, different scenario. So kudos to my first BD. Let me just give him a little shout out. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this, but if he does, we're so cool. I'm all for everything you're doing. So proud of you. Just know I did forgive you, and God opened up for you because I forgave you.
Amen. Sum it up and make it plain, sis.
No guilt.
So,
but ends up turning out that we're good friends, and my daughter is excited because they've recently had this relationship, and she understands why she does her fingers how she does them, and why her body's shaped the way it's shaped, and why she says weird things that she says, because that's that side. So here's the other question. I love her. She's so amazing. Here's the other question that comes up. People ask me this all the time too, is like, so you and your BD, your second BD, so I have a second BD, they're like, so how does that work? Because you guys have a very interesting relationship. I'm like nervous. I'm like, do I even say this? Yeah, we do have an interesting relationship.
But I love you all's relationship.
Everybody loves. I do too. Like,
I mean, he is down.
He is so down. Like, he is so like, he's like babysitter down. He's like best friend down, totally down. No, we're not married. No, I don't know that that's even in the cards. But what I do know is that what worked for us is that we had to get to a point where we realized that though this relationship stuff is got some kinks to it,
You guys are really good partners.
We
and
are.
friends.
And we give each other our last no matter what. Like, now, that's a full beast friend. He really is my beast friend.
I mean, he's
like,
a beastie.
Word.
He's in the crew.
Yeah,
like,
and it ain't many men that make it, but he definitely is.
Because you know what it is that he also fully supports you. So even, you know, he's there and supporting the kids.
I appreciate that. Tear.
He seriously always 100% supports you. And, you know, I love mine, but he lives his best life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the one thing I can say about George that I love is that he does live his best life, but he always detours right back to what matters. He's all about the family, and I love that about him.
And he's definitely about those kids. So, you know, because he has another daughter, and I have a daughter.
Do you feel like that helped? Like, having a partner who already had children, having children with them, do you feel like that helped? Because my first BD didn't have children. My second BD did. So I felt like he kind of had a jump on it.
I would fully say yes. And see, that's another thing too, right? Because people always try to judge your situation. Like, even going into it, you know, he's older than me.
Yeah.
He obviously has, you know, another child. I had a kid very quickly with him, you know, relatively speaking. Just jumped right on into it. I
can't even say anything right now.
Hey.
Get your eagle on.
Just hey. So anyways, but we were very in love. It was like a whole thing. It was like it was a whirlwind. So cool. But I think that it was helpful when we did have our daughter, because he was like really teaching me stuff.
He was hands-on.
And he's super hands-on and just had the experience. And also too, just had been through like so many of the stages already. Like, he could like.
So yeah, listen, BC, you gotta give your other credit. Like, if they walked this thing out and they did a decent job, you gotta give them credit. Trust them a little bit. I'm a firm believer that I leave diapers, bottles, and everything out for him. I am never. You know how women are like, I don't know if he can do. They belong to him too. He ain't gonna kill the child.
Yeah, I think,
a little drop ain't never hurt a baby.
I think men are more capable than what we give them credit for. So,
because man can get her together. Bath time is he rules.
That's what I'm saying. Is I've never hesitated, you know, to do something or go out or, you know, and leave my daughter with him.
All right, well, sum us up, because you're better at that than me.
So yeah, so I think just some of the key takeaways, and I feel like we could talk about this forever. And we want to hear about some things that maybe you guys are, you know, challenged with in this arena of
really
co-parenting. What might you really want to know? Because Des and I, you know, we're both co-parents, but we have kind of different circumstances and situations. So I feel like we're really equipped to talk about it in depth. So to sum everything up, though, what we discussed today is, you know, co-parenting is a beast friend topic, because it is all about this powerful partnership and how to make it work and how to have it live in the best interest of you, your co-parent, and your kids.
Yeah. Everybody.
And so with that, what happened?
I thought she was about to drop that computer. Sorry. That was so not a part of this, but yes, I was nervous, but go ahead. Sorry.
So
you were doing very good, friend. Go ahead.
I know, because you know I'll forget.
I know. No, you won't. Go ahead. Go.
So, it's about really not living in the gray. So
good point.
Understand what relationship you guys, you know, have here. Are you together and committed? Or are you guys deciding to solely be co-parents, and make those definitive decisions?
Yeah, what does co-parenting look like for you? It's okay to lay it out.
Well, no, what does your relationship look like? Because it's like, if y'all are going to be together and you guys are going to be in a committed
you're not co-parenting. I'm talking about on the flip side.
Oh, right. And I'm saying yes. And then if you decide to just solely be co-parents, yes, friend, to your point, it's like, what does that look like? What are the rules of engagement? Be open and vulnerable about things. Also, to confide in friends and be able to exchange information that isn't always cute. Like, every story and every situation ain't cute. Like, we all go through things. So if you really are about genuine friendships and partnerships and, you know, ultimately relationships that have depth, like, be willing to share the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's word.
And then I think the other thing is giving your partner some credit. Give them credit. Give them credit where it's due.
Forgive them first.
Forgive them first. Forgive them first, because I think the only way you'll get to number 2 is if you can forgive.
I know it was for me.
Okay, so forgive them first, and then give credit where credit is due. Because I think everybody could use a little.
And that goes both ways, right?
A little pat, yeah. Because I'll remind mine.
Listen, you guys got to make sure you leave us a comment on our YouTube and DM us. We want to know what you want to hear from us. Follow us on our social at Beast Friends Podcast. At Beast Friends
Podcast. We really want at Beast Friends. We're going to call Instagram about that.
Yeah, IG, what up?
But for now, it's at Beast Friends Podcast. Follow us.
And don't forget, comment on our YouTube. We want to hear from you guys.
And we're just so happy that you listened or you watched or you showed some love. And we're always ready and happy to share topics, how you can level up and be on beast mode.
Beast mode.
We didn't get into a current event today because we just kind of like...
This is the current event.
We're on a journey. But yeah, I guess this is current enough. We'll get into that next time, I guess.
All right, I got you next time. All right, we'll see you guys on the next podcast episode.
Bye.
Or talk to you guys on the next podcast episode.
What are we doing?
I feel like I can see them.
Right?
Yeah, because they're our beasties.
I know.
It's all about that.
All right, so we'll see you guys and you guys will listen to us and we can edit that out. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Beast Friends.